In this video, I'm going to discuss something that I realized that is actually happening in the states such as Arizona, Texas, and Florida that I think is actually going to be very beneficial for the people who are looking to get in this industry. So if you're interested, feel free to stick around. What's going on, everyone? I hope you're all doing well. If you're new here, my name is Serge. Welcome to the channel. To all my reoccurring viewers, thank you so much for all the love and support that each and every single one of you have shown this channel. I greatly appreciate it. If you have not yet, feel free to go check out the God Made podcast, Legion Assisted Living Academy, and Legion Assisted Living advisors in the links down below. And if you want to actually learn about passively investing in residential assisted living, feel free to shoot me an email in the link down below. And so without further ado, let's go ahead and actually jump into the topic of this video. Now, this is a topic that I think is very important for a lot of people to understand because of what it's doing and how it's affecting these certain states where everyone is moving to, such as Nevada, Arizona, Texas, Florida. These specific states are they're hot areas for people because it's the cost of living and also because of the weather. And because of that, it's also the areas that a lot of retirees go and retire. And those retirees eventually will need the services such as an assisted living home or a residential assisted living home. And so because of that, there is a lot of people that are moving right from California, from Oregon, from Washington, from certain states that are having these really strict restrictions due to the COVID. And because of that, what is happening from these states is that a lot of people that are moving into Arizona and Texas and Florida and these different places is that they're bringing their high salaries with them. And they're actually starting to work remotely, and a lot of the companies that they work for are just working remotely and having them work remotely, so their salaries really don't change. If anything, they're probably going up due to the fact that these companies no longer have the overhead of having to operate from an office or having to have all these commercial leases that they normally would have to have all their employees work out of. And because they're cutting their costs on their overhead, they're able to give these people with high salaries higher incomes because of that, right? And what that's causing is the median income in these certain states and in these certain areas, such as Phoenix, for like Dallas, Fort Worth, certain places in Florida, to actually go up. Not because the people that are already settled there having their median income going up, but because these other people who have these high incomes are moving into those areas and causing that median income to go up. And what does that mean for residential assisted living? Well, a lot of these people are going to have older parents, right? And when I talk about residential assisted living and when I mentor people, it's very important to look at the location, look at the median income in that specific location to see if they're going to be able to actually afford your services, right? To pay $4,500 a month per bed or for a private room in your facility. And if they can't, you're probably most likely not in the area that you want to be in order to charge those types of prices. But because these people with higher incomes are coming into these locations, right, they're going to be able to afford these higher rates that we're going to have to increase due to the cost of living going up, to the cost of taxes going up. Because of all this, residential assisted living homes will have to charge a higher rate. Like I talked in my previous video, if you guys haven't watched that, feel free to go back and watch that. But I talked about how residential assisted living homes aren't increasing their rates, even for their new residents that are moving in. They're keeping their rates the same. And so for all the new residents, that if you have any vacancies right now, you should really consider increasing your rates and no longer letting placement agents know, hey, my rate is no longer $3,500 for a private room. It's now $4,500 for a private room, or it's $4,000 for a private room, whatever you decide to increase your rate to. But that's what's going to have to start happening. And people should start really thinking about that and really starting to increase their rates when they're realizing that a lot of people are moving into their area from these other states where they've come with higher salaries. So that's really, really good news for the people who have care homes in these specific areas, such as Phoenix and the metro area, especially like outer Phoenix, like Mesa, Gilbert. Gilbert is a very popular spot for a lot of people moving right now. And also, like I said, Dallas, Fort Worth. If you have homes in those area, care homes, you should start really thinking about increasing your rates because there's a lot of people moving into those areas. And also, Reno, Nevada apparently is another really hot spot that a lot of people are moving to. So if you, for whatever reason, have a care home in Reno, Nevada, or you're thinking about doing it in Reno, Nevada, you should really think about that. Also, Utah. Utah is another really hot spot right now. And so if you have care homes in those areas, you should really want to increase your rates because of all the people that are coming with higher salaries. They're going to be able to actually afford those higher rates. And that's a concern a lot of people have when they're starting a residential assisted living is, are people going to be able to afford these rates at this point, or are we charging too much? Personally, I think people are charging too little for their care homes. They should definitely be increasing their rates because the amount of work that needs to be done is going to be about the same for anybody that's paying $2,500 or someone that's paying $4,500. So you're doing roughly about the same work. Their level of care, depending on, it's usually people are pricing those rates due to the fact that they're either in a semi-private or a private. And some people, they may be easier, but they're paying for strictly for the reason of them being in a private room and having their privacy, right? But just keep that in mind. You're still doing a lot of the same work, whether they're paying less or more. So you should really take all this into consideration. If you're looking to start a residential assisted living, it's definitely really good news, especially in these areas. If you're in the areas where they're actually moving out of, that's probably not such good news. That's probably actually worse news for you due to the fact that, and I'm not saying everybody's going to be moving out of those certain areas and they're not going to be able to afford those higher rates. Of course, there's always going to be people willing to pay for what they prioritize, which is their health, right? And for their loved ones. So they're always going to be willing to fork out that amount of money to be able to make sure that their loved one is being taken care of. But for the people who are in these other areas where they're all moving to, you guys may really want to consider increasing your rates. I'm doing that. I'm increasing my rates. I'm no longer staying out where I was due to the fact that I see this influx of people coming in who have higher salaries and who will eventually have the parents to move into my facility and be able to afford that rate. So with that being said, if you guys found this video very helpful, please do me a favor, smash that like button, smash that subscribe button. Feel free to go watch all these other videos. And again, thank you so much for all the love and support on this channel. God bless, and I'll talk to you all in the next video.